Well, I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you? Allow us to begin this interaction this day of your time in the following way. First of all, once again by thanking you for the co-creation of this interaction so that our respective civilizations may one day learn how to blend and share and interact with each other in profound, creative, and loving ways. We thank you for this opportunity to experience your unique manifestation of the infinite. This expands our awareness of creation and is to us a great gift. We thank you for this, and this day of your time, we would like to begin with a concept and an explanation of the unconscious, the subconscious, and the outer conscious. Fundamentally, what you call the unconscious mind is representative of that gateway, that doorway, that connects you to all other aspects of yourself, all other levels of your being, and is analogous to the consciousness realm, the knowing realm, the template or blueprint, the soul level, that ultimately expresses itself, if it desires to, as a spirit, which then ultimately expresses itself, if it desires to, as a physiological being. These three stages, consciousness, spirit, and physical being, are analogous to the ideas of the levels of the unconscious, the subconscious, and the outer conscious, the ego conscious. The idea is that from the unconscious, you create in spirit, in electromagnetic energy, which is the same thing as spirit. Consciousness expressing itself in the electromagnetic field is spirit. That is what spirit is. This electromagnetic fluid, this spirit fluid, acts as a storehouse of information, as a cataloging, as a structurization, as a crystallization, as an organization of the collective consciousness of your soul self, your all-knowing self. It takes the knowingness that you have, the connection to the infinite knowledge that you have, and organizes it, stores it in the spirit medium, the electromagnetic medium. This then chooses from within this entire storehouse of knowledge those components, those ideas, those attributes that then coalesce and focus and become the specific belief systems, emotions, and thought patterns of the physiological persona, the ego consciousness. This then allows you to know that you have focused yourself as a physical being to experience the concept of physical reality, to experience the concept of the limitations and the compartmentalization that create what you call your physical space-time experience. But at the same time, you still have the ability to go back up, to expand back up into that electromagnetic spirit realm, or as you would say, to dip down into the subconscious realm, wherein is contained all of the knowledge of the physical idea of your reality, of your experience. And even further than that, to expand up and, quote-unquote, dip down into the unconscious realm. Notice both directions of this idea. As you dip down, you expand higher. This is the paradox of how you have created yourself to be in physical terms. And as you dip down, or expand higher through the unconsciousness gate into your higher soul self, you then have access to all the information of all of your beings, all of your life, all realities, your soul, total, knowledgeable self, your knowing self. These strata, these levels, are for the purpose of organizing your consciousness in some way, shape, or form, so you can, in fact, as we said, experience different realities. You must have the imposition of certain limitations upon your consciousness in order to experience the idea of the uniqueness, the unexpected concepts that you encounter as physical beings. But we would like to remind you that you are not actually a being existing in physical reality. You are a being transformed into physical reality, as physical reality. Physical reality is you. It is made of you. You only have your own energy to work with. You have transformed your own consciousness into the concept called physical reality, and the definitions of physical reality make it seem as if you are experiencing something external to yourself that you actually exist in. Therefore, when you delve down into your subconscious and further into your unconscious, or as we have said, expand into spirit and then into the soul level, what you're actually doing is going through a process of recognizing and remembering that you actually are that you, the real you, the consciousness you are, actually is the dimension that you previously thought you existed within. This is the definition of the process of expansion and spiritual growth. You actually become, remember that you are the dimension itself that you thought you used to live in. In this way you can understand, as we have said many times, that consciousness is not actually in the body. The concept of you as a body is within your consciousness. And death and all forms of ascension or spiritual growth, even while you remain physical, is a process simply of expanding your definitions, of releasing your limitations and your focus as physical beings, and dissolving the concepts, definitions, and barriers between physicality and non-physicality, so that you then operate more balanced in that holistic state wherein you know that physical reality is just another expression of your consciousness, just another dream, and that you always are dreaming yourself into the experiences you are having. As you begin to blend these levels of consciousness together, ego consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness, as you expand physical reality into spiritual reality, into soul reality, you then really know, as fourth density beings, as ascended beings eventually, that you really are the creators of all the experiences that you have, and you have a much better, shall we say, handle on how to choose consciously, totally consciously choose those experiences that you prefer, rather than the ones that you don't. For in creating the different strata of the unconscious and the subconscious, you have also created the possibility of the forgetfulness of how you choose your reality. And many times, if you go into the limitations of fear and doubt, then that subconscious strata, that organization of consciousness, can still activate those realities just as easily as any other reality you might prefer. So becoming more aware, more awake, more collectively conscious will allow you the option to choose the realities that you experience. In what you are experiencing as the workshop, which we will conduct tomorrow of your time, one of the things that we will do will be to conduct specific exercises to allow you better understanding and better opportunity in using the actual unconscious gate within you, delving through the subconscious to the unconscious gate, so that you can access information of the total you, past lives, future lives, ultimate realities, soul levels. We will have exercises to allow you to use this unconscious gate so that you can use that information to help blend and balance you, use that energy to allow you to become more, in a sense, homogeneous within yourself, and thus more expressive as an individual upon your planet, thus aiding and assisting in the creation of unity upon your world, which will only come when each of the true individuals that you are is fully expressed. When the uniqueness of your diversity is fully allowed, that is when you will have true unity and harmony upon your world. We will discuss this exercise tomorrow. We will also talk about the idea of allowing you to experience yourself as biological circuitry and accessing, again, different ideas of the electromagnetheric spirit level of energy, which will allow you a different understanding of how to blend and balance your physical self and a whole different viewpoint of your electromagnetheric imprint upon reality, upon the earth, and the impact that you can have. These exercises we will conduct tomorrow of your time. It shall be a great deal of fun and a great deal of activity that will help lock in these concepts rather than allowing them to remain as intellectual exercise. It will ground them physically within you so that you can use them, if you wish, if you choose, in all your daily activities and have the lives you really want. At this time, however, we once again extend to you our deep appreciation, being allowed to experience the gift of your consciousness, and in return for the gift that you are giving us, I ask you now, in what way may I be of service to you? You may begin sharing and questions if you wish.
Hello, Bashar.
To you, good day.
I wonder if I could ask the first question about dolphins here. Why is it that the west coast of Australia has that many dolphin interactions?
There are many reasons. First of all, there is a certain polarization that takes place in your particular planetary atmosphere that allows a certain direction of electromagnetic energy to, shall we say, pile up on the western coasts of your land masses. In this way, you will recognize that it is mostly around the western coasts, not always, but mostly around the western coasts, that you will experience certain kinds of energy, certain kinds of knowledge, certain kinds of awareness, or cutting-edge activity. In this way, the dolphins are attracted to these centers because they recognize that this is the easiest places to blend, to harmonize, with all the changes and transformations that are taking place upon your planet, because those transformations are very often exemplified by the individuals in your human species that choose to live in the western coast land masses and partake of that accelerated energy. So there is an easier coming together of blending of the two species upon your earth that really are the keepers of the earth. You on the land as humans, dolphins in the sea. Also, because your specific area now that you are in, labeled Perth, is one that we have said has to do with, in the future, different forms of understanding education, information, communication, and art. And the dolphins, being very creative and intuitive in that way, are also helping to assist in the blooming and blossoming of these different areas that your city of Perth can be instrumental in sharing with the rest of your world. You follow along?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Is Dreamer coming to this coast too, sometimes?
In this way, you will find that more often than not, the specific dolphin we have referred to as Dreamer will remain somewhere around, generally, the western coast of your New Zealand. There are other dreamers in the sea, however. Dreamer is just a general term for those dolphins that choose to function as ambassadors between the dolphin species and the human species. There is a specific dolphin we refer to when we say dreamer proper. But in this way, there are many dreamers, and you can interact with many of them even in your western coast of the Australian landmass. Follow along?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The other question that I had is, would you please tell us what will happen on the 17th of October?
No.
Right.
Except to say, as we have already outlined, that the 17th of your October is a very strong energy gate, specifically with regard to the ability to connect into extraterrestrial or other dimensional consciousness. There will be a few incidents that will occur here and there around your world as these gates open. Some of them will involve contact. Some of them will simply allow you to connect into other ethereal realms where you can strengthen your connection to your higher selves. It will depend upon the area that you are in. But October 17th is a very strong electromagnetic gate that will open up connections to higher realms in various ways.
Are there any specific areas in Australia that would be most conducive to contact?
Many of what you would call your desert areas, of course, again, as we have said, the idea of what you call Ayers Rock is the primary pulsation control or regulation gate in the Australian landmass, specifically with regard to electromagnetic energy, and it would be an area of high sensitivity. But be cautious. It will be a very raw energy. What you bring with you may be amplified. If it is positive, so be it. If it is negative, so be it. It will be an opportunity to face certain aspects and attributes within the belief systems of your collective consciousness. Just treat yourselves kindly and give yourselves, in that sense, a lot of nurturing so that you will support yourselves in the experience of the rawness of that electromagnetic current. All right?
All right. Last question is,
Yes.
is the Australian government aware of the extraterrestrial interactions?
There are approximately 3 to 4 individuals, maybe 5, that are aware of about 70 to 80% of the information that exists.
Inclusive our Prime Minister?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bashar.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Welcome to Perth.
I am not in Perth, but thank you.
All right. I'm glad
I am actually, at this time, orbiting 3,000 miles directly above Cairo.
Aha. Bashar, you were talking about the electromagnetic fields.
Yes.
I understand that it was really meant when it was first invented that it was going in the earth, under the earth at least, but not over the earth, but over the surface, as it is done now, the alternating current. That has created a lot of pollution.
Electromagnetic pollution in that sense, yes.
That's right. Now, I asked you a question in Melbourne regarding my skin, the psoriasis.
Yes.
The pollution, is that part of that I have manifested this problem?
To some degree, as we have already explained, yes, you are sensitized to the rawness of the energy, and some of this rawness of energy, as you translate it in your physiological consciousness, is expressing itself as a rawness of the surface cellular structure of your physical form, yes.
Will the purple plate help protection of that?
There may be some assistance in that as a trigger to help balance you, but we find that it might be easier for you to actually use the idea of energizing water with that and with the blue-white energy and allowing the water in its natural electromagnetic crystalline form to aid and assist in nurturing and, shall we say, allowing some form of nutrition to soak into the cellular structure in your body. Purified water in this way. One moment. If it is infused with a little bit of green grass and also just a little bit of the actual earth that the grass grows in, will help balance the cells of your physical body. If you take a warm bath in that, you can allow the purple plate to energize the water to some degree, but that is really not completely necessary for very long. Follow along?
Yes, I do. Talking about that as well, what about the ozone or oxygen therapy? Taking baths in that.
Some forms of what you call oxygenation are beneficial. We will also discuss some of this in the workshop tomorrow in the exemplification of what we would call a specific kind of octahedral key, which will allow you to tap directly into the vibration of oxygen, which is the primary balancing energy of your planet. We will teach in this sense the breath of fire. In this way, there are certain attributes of oxygen therapy which can be of assistance in eliminating certain diseases, either through direct ozone use or hydrogen peroxide use. But many of you must be cautious about how you utilize these things or in what concentrations you utilize them, because too much oxygen can literally burn your cells out. The concentration of ozone should be really the same as the parts per million in your natural atmosphere after what you would call a thunderstorm. That will be the natural balance of the ozone that you need. You follow along?
Yes, I do. How much is that?
You will have to find that out. We do not have a way of translating that through the consciousness of the channel.
Okay. I've recently shifted house. I live now in a house in the last 3 months. The house has got an asbestos roof. I have experienced, lack of energy, lack of enthusiasm.
Why did you move there?
Get rid of a mortgage.
Get rid of?
Yes. Bought a place just because I need somewhere to live. And,
did you pick the one that was most exciting? Or did you settle for something you thought was the only thing you could get?
Indeed.
Well, what does that tell you? Time to move again?
Indeed.
All right. Allow yourself to trust the synchronicity of your life a little bit more, and you will not necessarily have to make so many rash moves.
Thank you very much. So in the house,
Yes.
is there a...
What house?
Where I live in currently.
Why are we talking about that? Since it has nothing to do with you.
I live there currently.
Yes.
Is it the radon gas that is affecting me?
It is more the particulates in the air itself from the direct interaction of that material. And it is also the idea of the kind of imbalance in the electrical current that goes on, a particular kind of static charge that is created by that material. Trust your synchronicity to lure you into the situation that is more beneficial and more reflective of what you truly desire, rather than settling for less.
Okay.
Does this assist you?
Quite a lot, actually. You've said something like that also before I talked to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. My question probably will divert a bit from what you just said today. It relates to more the races of this planet, the different places in
Back
different
away
parts of
from
the
your
world.
microphone.
Different parts of the world. Can you hear me?
Now,
Okay, good. Now, I've got this impression that the different groups of people we have on this planet are the result of genetic engineering
to some degree, this
from
is so.
alien.
To some
what
degree,
we call alien,
yes,
yes.
to
Could you
some
explain
degree.
that a bit more? Could you clarify this for me?
There will be the idea that much of what you call your indigenous races, the indigenous native races, will be representative of the first alterations that took place within the genetic structures of early human forms or hominid forms upon your planet. Then, a little bit later, some of the introductions that create what you call your white civilization, your Asian civilization, as also connecting into some aspects of ancient beings referred to in Sumerian texts as Anunnaki. Also the idea of some serious connection, also some of the ideas that you understand now as Pleiadian, Lyran, also some of the ideas that are understood to be Arcturan, but in a different way, very different way. One moment. Some of the genetic experimentation, shall we say, or involvement going on now, has evolved as a continuation of some of the ancient original programs. But also now your collective world spirit is participating in the direction and the course of some of this evolutionary idea of expression in physical reality. Some of the connections to the beings now referred to as the Greys from the star system of Reticulum are simply offshoots of more ancient connection. One moment. Some ancient Orion ideas caused fluctuations in your genetic structures along the line, historically as well. One moment. Much of this goes back to ancient Lyran civilizations, but this will induce the split off of Orion and Pleiadian and a few others. One moment. The idea is that you are such a melting pot of genetic information, that you are a very rich source for many other ideas, many other expressions of physicality in many other civilizations. You have connections to many of them in that way, and thus you are relied upon as a source, shall we say, of genetic information to aid and assist beings that may wish to stabilize their own civilizations in a variety of ways as well. Does this help illuminate the situation to some degree?
That's great. Thank you very much. That's all I have for you.
Thank you. There is more to this that will come out over the next few years of time, but now is premature. Next sharing.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've got a very quick, simple question. Can you give me some help and information on the circles that are appearing in the farmers' fields around the world, but mostly in the Wessex Triangle of England?
Again, these ideas that you refer to as crop circles are forms of communication from many different levels of consciousness. Some of them involve extraterrestrial consciousness, but many of them involve the consciousness of your collective world spirit, your collective earth archetypal spirit, what you would call nature spirit, and other dimensions and other realms, manipulating the electromagnetics field in certain ways as to cause those imprints, which are forms of communication, to your unconscious, so that you can, by examining and exploring them and understanding them in a feeling vibration, be connected into your unconscious realms and connected back into your basic fundamental earth consciousness, nature consciousness. The idea also is that there are many ways to interpret them. You can interpret them magnetically, architecturally, musically, look at them in terms of the ratio of one to the other and see where the patterns may emerge. Now, one we have explained already to give you some understanding of how to interpret some of these, what you call the idea of the large formation that has a central circle, a second ring, a third ring, a triangle, equilateral, going through those rings, and each tip of the triangle possessing another formation. One, a blank circle. One, a circle with radiating lines. And the other, a stepped spiral leading to a central mark. Are you familiar with that one?
I've seen the stepped one, yes.
In this way, you will understand that this large formation is basically representative to some degree of what we have discussed this day. The central circle, in that sense, is the soul self, radiating out into the idea of the spirit level, the electromagnetic belt, and then radiating out into physical reality. Once physical reality, the physical ring, is achieved, it creates the trinary prism of the physical ego consciousness, and is exemplified by the three circles on the outside apices of the triangle. The empty circle being belief, the circle with the radiating spirals being emotion, and the stepped circle being the actions, the physical actions in your life. These three parameters are what make up the physical personality. And it shows you that it comes from the idea, from the non-physical to the physical, of the knowing self, the spirit self, and the physical self. And the final one, the spiral, the step that goes inward, shows you that with each action that you take, when you're aligned with the conviction and intention of your beliefs and emotions, will bring you closer and closer to the center once again. And as you spiral in, you will find the central dot will begin the cycle all over again to allow you the opportunity to manifest back into the spirit form, back into the knowing self, to start the process all over again. Do you follow along?
Roughly. I think I have my understanding of whatever level that is at the moment.
All right. Examine the definition that we have shared with you and allow yourself to apply this idea and your own imagination to all of the other circles, because they are there as messages for all of you. When you begin to understand how to interpret them, you will understand the kinds of communications that are putting you back in touch with your knowing selves, your higher selves. In many ways, they are communications from your higher selves, from your future selves, as well as other levels and dimensions of consciousness. You follow along?
That I do, yes.
Does that answer the question sufficiently for you?
It does. And I'd like to say welcome to this area of the world.
Thank you very much. Again, our proximity to your planet in this way, as we have said, 3,000 miles away from your planet at this time, is representative of the fact that there have been shifts in consciousness on your world. And these shifts have allowed us now to come in closer proximity to your world to aid and assist in the balancing and blending of the kind of energies, the kind of momentum, the kind of inertia that you are now creating to aid and assist in the shifting and the balancing of this energy, because many, many things are now going to occur in your upcoming year of 93. You're going to see many changes and many different levels and many different ways. You're all in for quite a roller coaster ride.
Thank you, Bashar.
We thank you.
Will Australia be as badly affected as the Northern Hemisphere?
There will be a few transformations, but you will find that they will be relatively smooth in a variety of ways. One moment. There may be certain transformations in what you would understand to be some of your northern coasts, as connected to things that may begin to occur in the lands north of you, in what you would call your Southeast Asian area. but what you would call most of the southern coasts will remain largely unaffected by negativity in that sense. There may be a few weather patterns that you need to watch out for that may allow certain ideas of your weather to become a bit raw, a bit exposed to certain kinds of radiation. But in this way, again, there can be much balancing taking place. One moment. You will not be unaffected, however, economically. Some of the greatest shifts, sociologically and economically, will take place in your landmass. As ways of creating experimentation to create new systems, alternate systems, that in many ways can spread to various portions of the rest of your planet. You have a great deal of experimentation energy in the way you have established many of your cities, and these can begin to come together in time, along with your New Zealand, to export new ideas and understanding of political, social, and economic systems. You have a great deal of room for experimentation. New cities can be created in your landmass that will primarily exemplify these new systems. Cities built on a new matrix, a new understanding, clear and clean from the start, balanced from the start, tapping into the raw energy of your planet, and supporting many, many, many creative individuals in the future time. Many of these will be done about the time of your 2019 to 2050, these new cities. You follow along?
Yes, okay. And also, with the financial schemes, will we be using more like barter systems in the future than money?
In a sense, to some degree, you will be basing your economic system upon the skills and energies and education of people themselves, and allowing your governments to serve as facilitating networking bodies to put together the people that need to be put together with those that need the skills. In this way, it will function much more like the old idea you have of the company store, where all the basic fundamental ideas will be supplied automatically, and then the skills and creative attributes will be cherished in each individual and utilized in ways creatively that they have not yet been utilized to date. In that sense, you might say it is a barter system, but it is really much more of a direct exchange of creative skills in a variety of ways. You follow along?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One moment. One of the new understandings of how to extract energy directly from the substance that you call gold will also be put into play in certain areas in Australia. One of the new understandings of how to extract energy directly from the substance that you call gold will also be put into play in certain areas in Australia. This will be understood perhaps again over the next 10 to 15 years, 17 years at the outside, and this new tapping in of this white golden light that can be extracted from the element of gold will be a new source of power. It will be utilized in many areas of the world, but your landmass will also be one of them, especially with regard to the establishment of the new cities. Next sharing.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Nice to hear how quickly you learned to speak Australian.
We are simply allowing certain parameters within the channel of consciousness to be a little bit more free.
Yes. I'd like to ask about the area Stonehenge.
Yes.
How were the stones put there? Were they physically carted there, or? And
there was what you would call acoustic levitation.
Yes.
This is also practiced by the early Tibetan civilization upon your planet.
And so they tuned into the energy and knew that was where they wanted to have them.
You can experiment with it this way if you wish. Taking a small disc of either aluminum or copper. Use a disc for now. Not too heavy, not too thick. Experiment with different tonalities, harmonics. Go up and down the range of amplitude and vibrations until such time as you hit the acoustic component the harmonic component that is reflective of that particular elemental disk. Once you hit the proper component, you will no longer hear the sound at all. The acoustic energy will have been translated into what you call levitational energy, and the disk will levitate. At that point, it will become quiet. You understand?
Yes, thank you.
This is how you will construct many things in the future, as you did in the past. But only the most ancient of things in your past were constructed this way. Stonehenge was one. The ancient Great Pyramid was one, not the later pyramids. Those were more by what you would understand as to be laborious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. Bashar, I've only read different documentation about all the extraterrestrials that are within our planet Earth, in the mountains, under the sea. Are they here for our highest good?
First of all, not as many of them are there as you think, in the physical sense as you may mean it. Much of this interaction goes on in other dimensions. There are far fewer actual physiological bases for extraterrestrial use than you think. What you are generally sensing are ethereal realms of interaction that are not precisely or specifically in your dimension of experience. There are a few physical bases, but not as many as you think. Such is the nature of the concept also of what you call the inner earth. There are realities, and in a sense civilizations that exist in the inner earth, but not in your physical plane. You understand?
Yes.
Many of these ideas are for the balancing of some of the energy of your planet. Some of them are for other reasons, which we will not go into.
Good.
We do not wish in this way to encourage what you would call the fear vibration. Let us say that some of your governments and societies have allowed themselves to attract to themselves certain ideas that might amplify some of the negative energy that already exists upon your planet. But you really do not have to worry about this, as balancing is also taking place. But much of the balancing is simply also coming from the changes that you make within your collective consciousness, because we have to use the consciousness of your dimension in order to have an effect. This is why we urge you to be balanced within yourselves, because you will make all the difference. We cannot, in that sense, just do it on our own, because it is your reality. You understand?
Yes, thank you.
Does this answer the question sufficiently for you?
Yes, thank you. But also, I'd just like to know, would their vibration be in our great rock, Ayers Rock, or Uluru?
Yes. As we have said, this is the primary nexus gate for your Australian landmass. And in that sense, there is a large connection to what you would call other dimensional or extraterrestrial energy. The veils are very thin there. Very thin. Very thin. Very thin. There are many crossovers that occur in that area. Pulsations, manifestations, flickerings of consciousness in different realms, passing through. It is like an active way station. It is connected to many different dimensions. Now and then there will be flickerings of consciousness that passes through. Sometimes they will emerge in your reality. More often than not, they will simply pass through. You follow along?
Yes.
It is very busy there. Very busy.
It is also, and would that be one of the reasons, as well as for the pride of our own Aboriginals, but is that how come the Aboriginals and the white Australians work in complete harmony up there?
For the most part, yes, if they are sensitive to the energy. Those that cannot be aligned with that energy will usually not be able, not capable of remaining in the area.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It's exciting to share with you.
Always exciting for us as well in these interactions. Thank you.
I'd like to know why masses of whales beach themselves.
All right, we have discussed this many times. There are many different reasons. First of all, there are electromagnetic fluctuations going on your planet that disorient them in various numbers of ways. There are pollutions in your oceans that add to their inability to reorient themselves. Also from time to time, if it serves the overall purpose, the whales will teach themselves to allow their souls and their spirits to fragment and to include themselves in your vibrations, to anchor themselves within your hearts so that you will be more in contact with them in a variety of ways. You understand?
Yes, yes. My other question is about many of us are sharing relationships with people who think that fourth density and spirits and channeling and all that sort of thing is a whole lot of hocus pocus.
Yes.
I just wonder, as we sort of move on, where their direction is.
All right. Well, now, first of all, of course, an individual does not in any way, shape, or form have to go along the same labeled ideas to live a full fourth density life. Individuals who are simply doing what it is they need to do in full, creative, positive ways will be aligned with what we typically refer to as the fourth density energy, even if they do not, as you say, subscribe to many of the actual concepts expressed in metaphysical circles, so to speak. You follow along so far?
Yes.
However, individuals who are simply not aligned with that kind of transformational energy will simply allow themselves to remain in whatever dimensions of Earth are representative of the energies that they give off. There are an infinite number of Earths, and what is going on is that your vibration allows you to align with the experience of the Earth that is most reflective of the vibration that you have. So in a sense, there is a great deal of, shall we say, sifting going on. They will experience the Earth as they have always known it to be. They will no longer encounter you. You will no longer encounter them in time. You follow along?
Yes, yes.
You will literally be intermeshed in two different worlds that will never meet.
So you will separate at some time.
In a sense, yes. This is growing stronger and stronger and more accelerated day by day by day. By your year of 2011, 2013, mostly speaking, you will only encounter beings that are aligned with the fourth density vibration, and you will simply wonder where all the others went. Sometimes this will even happen within families, within friends. You will simply never run into them again.
Where will they go?
They will be on the third density Earth, or they will have taken themselves to the non-physical realm to decide where they wish to incarnate or where they wish to go on.
Right, okay, thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And good day to you. One moment, one moment, one moment. Those that are sensitive to it may already be feeling that there is a very great degree of difference in the kind of energy that is being created in this interaction today. There are pulsations and fluctuations going on that are allowing individuals to find out what kind of streams of electromagnetic energy they need to align with. There are decisions and choices being made this day. A great deal of alignment and acceleration and choosing of direction is going on now in the kind of energy that we are helping to, shall we say, categorize, to crystallize. And again, one of the reasons why we are positioned in the area 3,000 miles that we are above Cairo. For there's a great pulse going out now from that particular lens on your planet that is now keying into all the other magnetic vortices upon your planet, pulsing out from those way stations. There may be a bit of a disorientation or a feeling of misalignment or not sure why you're feeling withdrawn, contemplative, disoriented, fuzzy, unsure, uncertain. These are simply the recalibration energies taking place. Do not worry about it. We are all in synchronous alignment. Everything is going just fine. Do not worry if you do not feel like you fit in or belong. These are simply the reorientations of electromagnetic energy taking place within your spirit. Continue.
I'd like to see if you could answer me a personal question.
All right.
Some years ago, I had a out-of-body or conscious experience, which I was shown around the pyramid area in Egypt.
Yes.
And certain information which I was reading, and I was telling myself to remember it. And when I came to in the physical consciousness, I could not recollect it. Is it possible to assist me on that?
Only if you make a connection more strongly to that energy physically. It has been set within you in terms of a seed. A seed to set up a revelation within yourself at the proper timing. This is not the proper timing. But it is starting to grow within you in such a way that you will attract yourself into a certain circumstance where you will then see something that will trigger the entire memory once again. And at that point, it will be correct for you to know that information, because then, at that point, you will also have the capability of using that information and applying it in your physical earth reality in ways that will be of great benefit to you, but it will change your life abruptly. You follow along?
Yes, thank you.
Does that answer your question sufficiently? Is there anything else you wish to discuss?
Would I have any primary association with your civilization?
Tangentially, but not primary. Association by association. You are connected to the overall association, but to us peripherally, only for the purpose of helping guide, as we have just said, the electromagnetic component of your consciousness, and suggesting, whispering, that you go in a certain direction or vibration. You are much more strongly connected to other levels of energy, Sirius energy, Arcturus energy, and other levels of association energy than you are directly to us. We are more of a past for you. There is another kind of future, another kind of awakening, and another kind of self-recognition that needs to take place. All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and sweet dreams.
Thank you. Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. The synchronicity was absolutely delightful. When you began to express the fuzziness and the spaciousness, I was really experiencing an extraordinary sensation.
Yes.
And I brought with me a question as an individual, but at that moment, the individuality seemed very irrelevant.
It is not irrelevant, but it was simply expanded.
Yes. I'd like to come back to that question, however, and it is a question about lucid dreaming.
Yes.
For many years, I've come to the point of waking up in the dream.
Yes, very good.
And I have experienced, however, an extraordinary surge of energy around the throat, which woke me from the dream repeatedly.
Yes.
Coughing and sputtering, and I've never quite got around that corner. I'm wondering if you can help me.
All right. One moment. Allow yourself to know that this is simply the remnants of certain blocks that come, for you mainly, from experiences in past life to some other connections where you're just hesitant to really allow that energy fully through. Allow yourself to have by your bedside a glass of pure water, and before you go to sleep, see that water infused with blue-white electromagnetic light. Take 3 gentle sips and put it again by your bedside, allowing some water to remain. Allow yourself to know that it will aid and assist in balancing that energy out, and the coughing spasms will decrease, becoming less and less and less the moment that you allow yourself to wake up in the dream. Give yourself the opportunity to know that as you do that, and as any of you do that, you give yourself more opportunity to create the reality that you desire. For as you begin to wake up in your dream, you will also start to experience your physical reality as a dream, and know that you can wake up in the dream of your physical reality more consciously. And that will begin to allow you to express yourself as you did in times past. But in times past, sometimes your willingness to express that knowledge, that conscious realization and recognition, well, you wound up displeasing many people. And sometimes you lost your head over it. You are feeling that constriction in your throat once again.
Yes.
All you have to do is get over that idea that you will be persecuted for saying what you know is your own truth this time.
Yes.
And allow yourself the gentility and the easing of that reality to come forward and allow that block to be open. You may also, if you wish, imagine golden angelic light helping you. All right?
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Yes.
Last night you mentioned that in your culture you developed a food product out of seeds, and you mentioned the seed.
We simply said that our collective consciousness created a growing plant that would be similar, not identical, but similar to what you would recognize as a lima bean.
Well, curiously, several nights before I attended last night, I had a very, very strong dream in which I saw a plant close to the ground growing bean-type seeds.
Yes.
And I wondered if there was some connection. And again, a
Yes.
few moments ago you said seed to this gentleman behind me.
Yes.
And little bells were ringing, and I thought, I wonder if my seed has got something to do with this.
To some degree, you are connecting into our strata, our vibration, to allow yourself to know that it takes very little to sustain you once you allow yourself to be aligned on all levels. You will require less and less and less and less physical materiality to sustain you in that way. That is what that seed or bean basically represents. A blossoming within yourself, but also that you need very little to sustain you in the physical world. You follow along?
I follow.
Blending and balancing of the heart energy,
Yes.
and the mind energy, the yellow-green vibration of that energy food. Take it in. Also, before you go to sleep, imagine yourself ingesting that. It will grow within you and also help to open up some of the blocks that remain. At the same time, it will anchor you, literally root you to the earth, and always allow you to know the direction of the light of the sun. All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Originally, I'm from Israel, and you said it can't be above Cairo.
Yes.
And the situation in the Middle East going for the last 2,000 years or more. I was wondering if there is any end to it.
This is going to abruptly shift in 97 and 98. Abruptly.
Which way?
At first, there will be many, many violent upheavals, but this will create such a shockwave that it will transform ultimately into a very, very positive outcome. But many individuals may go through very large trials of negativity and sorrow before that occurs, but it will happen very quickly, in 97 and 98. Political, social, economic, religious, everything in that area will change in a flash.
Does this mean that when we face in the Middle East, things will be as the promised land, the golden honey?
In a sense, it will live up to its original energy, radiating outward the whole concept of promised land concept around the world. Many, many, many valuable things will come from that area, but it will also help to activate many other areas upon your planet. It will also help with the idea of sending out those activation signals to other realms and other dimensions as well. That will allow us to know that certain shifts have now taken place, and we can come in that sense and help to some degree pick up the pieces at that time. But only after this shift has occurred.
Do we have to wait till the shift till 97, or there is a way to...
No. You can always allow yourself to add to the momentum now by doing the thing that is the most loving and passionate thing you can do to be of assistance and service in your reality. And this can help diffuse, to some degree, the energy of that area so it does not necessarily have to be felt as intensely negatively as it might. You can always do what you can do now in compassion, joy, and love. But allow yourself also to understand, one moment, that this will be the completion of a cycle that has to do with ancient negative Orion energy that has been infused in that area for thousands of years. The strongest influx of the negative energy began approximately 6,000 of your years ago in that area. This is now the ending of that cycle. It may choose to still end with a bang, but on the other side of that idea will be truly the trees giving of their fruit once again in a beautiful and luxurious and nurturing way.
If I may to go to a personal question.
Yes.
I found that in most of my dream I associate with an eagle.
Yes.
Any specific reason or meanings?
Yes. This is representative of the idea, to some degree for you, of the higher self, of the oversoul looking down upon the earth, seeing how things are laid out, seeing the paths that things have taken, and understanding how they come together. In other words, you are able to see where the rivers meet, to speak metaphorically. And in knowing where the rivers meet, you will understand how the cycle has played itself out, and you will know where to land. and where the olive branch and the peace can begin. Look to the idea of seeing all the nations and understand in what way all the different nations need to restructure themselves, recalibrate themselves, so that they can become one nation. But not in the sense of control, truly in the sense of service. The eagle is your higher self perspective. The things that you know in your heart are true for the world. The love, the joy, the passion and compassion that is possible. You follow along?
Yes.
It is a representation also of the connections that you may have to angelic vibrations. Does this help?
It's helping a bit.
All right. Is there some other avenue of this you wish to explore?
Yeah, why specifically it's eagle and always eagle, no other animals?
It is the best representation in your physical reality for the kind of vibration that you are and the kind of connections that you have to other realms and other dimensions. You understand?
Okay, thank you very much.
The lofty heights in that way that can be achieved. The airy, the eagle's airy. It is a rarefied atmosphere. You must learn to live in it, to breathe it, and to be far-seeing. Far-seeing. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question, please, Bashar.
Yes.
About parallel lives.
Parallel lives.
Yes, or about other aspects of ourselves being in the physical form.
Do you mean contemporarily?
Yes.
Counterparts?
Yes.
Yes.
About how many at one time could there be expressing?
Could there be? You want the upper limit possibility for any particular individual?
Is it thousands or
It can be. It can be. That is rare. That is rare. Usually the average will hover somewhere around between 12 and 30.
And they're all learning different lessons
at the same time as different physical beings contemporary to yourself, yes.
But would every aspect, like when you were speaking earlier about some going on to the fourth density and some staying in the third, would every aspect of a person go into the fourth density?
Not always, no. But ultimately, that lesson will be included in the total soul, the oversoul, that is responsible for projecting all those lives, and ultimately those informational experiences will be blended within the total. So in that sense, you could say, ultimately, all the aspects will make it, but not necessarily in the persona of the particular aspect. Perhaps just the experience itself will be all that translates into the higher dimensions. You follow along?
Yes, so at any time could you be tuning into those other aspects of yourself?
Oh, you are, but there's always cross-communication, what you call bleed-through. It is simply that you don't always recognize it because a lot of the information that comes from other contemporary selves, other aspects, parallel lives, future selves, past selves, alternate dimensions of reality, will usually be transformed into a particular kind of format that makes sense in your physical reality now as you are, according to the persona that you have chosen to be, so that you can use it. So you don't always recognize when information is coming from all those bleed-throughs.
Right. And would you recognize, aspects of yourself when you met them?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. Sometimes it serves a purpose to not recognize it.
Right.
It will depend upon the situation and the circumstance and the agreed upon experience. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you very much. You may all, at this time, enjoy a short break. We will resume contact in approximately 20 minutes of your counting. We would suggest that for the purpose of allowing yourself a little bit more alignment and cohesiveness with certain aspects of the energy, to imagine that you are in a chamber in Cairo. Allow yourself to feel the energy of the chamber, the resonance chamber in the Great Pyramid in Cairo. And allow yourself to simply feel the pulses of alignment, the pulses of starlight, the pulses of balance and blending. Relax and enjoy. How's it going? I don't feel how to continue with sharing.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. I have, I think, 3 questions that I would like to ask, and they extend into more.
All right.
The first question that I have links into the sense that I have with Egypt and the past civilizations and the influence that has been there for Anubis and also for the Leonine cultures that were existing some thousands of years ago.
Yes.
And I would like to know what the influences are going to be there in the next few years from those 2 periods of time, and especially with Anubis and the threshold of and the relationship between the Orion energy and the Syrian energy.
Yes. Anubis, as you say, is the archetypal symbol for the blending and the balancing of the old Orion ideas and the new Sirius ideas coming in. These 2 energies are balanced and blended within that individual personification of overall archetypal energy. Archetypal energy being an aspect, an autonomous aspect of the collective world soul expressing itself in a certain format or vibration that aids and assists in the expression of certain kinds of energies or that particular energy aspect of your collective whole world personality. Anubis, therefore, is the gate between the higher levels of consciousness and what you may call the negative energies, the old cycles and the new cycles, the unconscious and the conscious. All these ideas are blended and balanced within the idea called Anubis. The Leonine idea, the lion energy, is a representation of the reestablishment in a new way, not in the old way, in a new way, the recollection, the regathering of the ancient dynastic energies. The idea that the old dynasties, the old God reflection energy, the idea of the pharaohs is all coming back again, but in a new recognition, a new understanding of self-empowerment rather than power over, rather than dominion over. In this way, as these energies of the old Orion and the new Sirius are blended and balanced, and it crosses the threshold in this before your year of 93 to move toward more the idea of the Sirius acceleration. That energy, that acceleration toward the positive will reestablish and regather together all the beings who in past lives were connected and associated, and all beings in present life who are associated and affiliated with the energies that have to do with the concept of the ruling dynasties and the ancient godlike pantheon of energies, archetypally speaking, so that they will reestablish themselves, re-anchor themselves, regather together to help awaken the old energies, discover the ancient secrets, bring to the surface the ancient knowledge, but it now in a healing, balanced, and beneficial way, rather than now having to be secretive, clandestine, as the old ways of the priesthoods and the pharaohs used to be. You follow along?
Yes, I do. So the gathering together in October, November is a gathering of the priest pharaohs of the time of that period that we were talking about.
To some degree, those ideas are contained therein, and this will stretch out for a long period of time and in many different areas of the world. It will not always happen just there in Egypt. But it will be a reactivation and a reawakening of all those who were connected to that time and are now, for whatever reason, affiliated with those energies.
Thank you. The changes that are going to be taking place, my mind has just spun out for a little while.
Yes, many of your minds will spin out in 1993. It will be very, 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 very powerful. There will be many different kinds of energy and social and political and physical incidents that will give you the understanding that after 1993 your world will never be the same again. Many shifts will be taking place that will lay the foundations for many of the changes that will finally be established, again, as we say, in the next 10 to 15 years of your time. But you will see the seeds of the shifts and the changes very drastically and dramatically in certain areas, certain components of your collective society. New recognitions, new awarenesses will come to the surface that will surprise many, many individuals.
Thank you. Just a little variation of that too, with the recognition that the Sirius energy is going to be coming in more fully.
Yes.
And the recognition too that you're channeling, you are bringing through with the Epifani energy. Are we going to experience someone channeling through the Sirius energy as well?
This has already happened from time to time through this channel. There will be a few representations of this energy that will issue through from time to time in the remainder of the kind of channelings of this nature that will take place on a sporadic basis after 1993, since 93 will be more conducive and aligned with regard to the Sirius energy. One moment. The blending and balancing of the Sirius energy, as you understand it, has also to do with the ideas of the manifestations of the balancing and blending and the marriage, if you will, of the masculine and feminine energies, because the idea of the feminine energy now must find its own strength, must find its own fortitude, and must be blended and married to the masculine energy in a very specific way in order to allow the alignment to move ahead together in a cohesive manner along parallel lines. These parallel lines must be established in that following way, and there will be more energy, more etherealness, more energy ocean, more the idea of the electromagnetic sea around you. Being immersed in that electromagnetic sea, you will partake of that in a new way and allow more crystallization to take place within each and every one of you that will connect into the idea of the Sirius energy in a non-physical realm. It is defined by 3 levels in this way. You will find the outer level to be the white light level, the middle level to be the blue energy level, and the core will be the black hole that will connect you through the idea of the unconscious gate and in the center of your brain called the corpus callosum to all different dimensions and aspects of yourself in that way. Are you following along what we are saying at this time? There will be more acceleration, as you will understand. The delivery of this information will be designed in such a way as to create tonal qualities and tonal reverberations within the energy field of your body, so you'll be receiving and absorbing this information in a very different way. Not so much just with your ears, but with your total energy field. And this information will be delivered to you in dream states, and as the dream state becomes more physicalized, as the physical reality becomes more dreamlike, you'll be able to absorb this information and energy in more direct ways, along more direct lines, and can be given to you along more and more channels, a multitude of channels now in a variety of different ways than has been delivered before. Do you understand what we are saying so far?
Yes, I do.
In this way, allow yourself to understand that as you immerse yourself in this new energy sea, and as you identify with the 3 colors of the white, blue, and black, that is the Sirius energy in this way, it will be the representational vibration that will allow you in meditations to tap in to that energy source and will connect you more directly also to the dolphin consciousness upon your planet and give you more ability to telepathically communicate with them in dreams and in the waking state. Use this idea of the tonality of the white and the blue and the black in this way as the 3-fold, tripartite, triangular, triad formation of energy that is our vibration, our signal, and will connect you directly to your higher self, allow you to blend and balance the ideas of the higher self, the spiritual self, and the unconscious self in that sense. Do you follow along what we are saying so far?
Exactly. Wonderful, yes.
We thank you for the participation at this time and the willingness to move ahead in this energy, to allow this energy to blend and balance upon your planet as it used to be more. Look to the bright star in the sky as the understanding of the reflection of the bright star within each and every one of your mentalities and in your heart, and you will allow yourself to understand how you flow together more smoothly in this energy sea from this point forward. Thank you very much for this interaction. We thank you very much.
Thank you, Bashar. Wonderful.
That was not me. Understand that was more of a blended and balanced understanding of the Sirius energy, as it has been delivered from time to time through this channel, but as also it is representative of my own higher self, not what I understand to be my personality directly. So we have channeled my own higher self for you in that way. Do you understand?
Which is Sirius energy.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is the triad of Earth, Essassani, and Sirius. We are pulling each other up the ladder in that way.
And that is happening to us too.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You are welcome. Sure.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Bashar, I have heard you say many times that our nighttime reality is as valid as our waking time.
Yes.
How is it then that I can't remember anything of what's happened during the night, but I can remember what happened last year.
There will be many different reasons for why many individuals may block memories of the nighttime experience. You may find that from time to time it will be due to the idea of the stresses that you place upon yourselves in the physical life, the degree to which you allow physical reality to seem more real than the ideas that you are exploring in non-physical reality. Sometimes it will be due to the idea of the timing of the things that you are exploring in non-physical reality, as you may not want nor need to understand those bits of information in the non-physical realm as they apply into your physical life right now. Conscious recognition may come later. Sometimes it is mostly due to the limitation of the self that you do not remember what is going on. However, there is also a new idea happening now in your physical reality that will also allow it to seem to be that you do not remember what is going on in your nighttime reality. The idea is that as you begin to allow your physical reality to be recognized more as a dream, as you allow your dream reality to be more real, as you each live the life that you really prefer to live in more exciting and passionate ways, as you blend the non-physical and physical reality together, then there isn't so much difference between the two. And in this sense, the idea of what you now have as a dream is simply your way of remembering something that you feel is a disconnected idea, a disconnected experience from physical reality. When these two realities blend together, then there is nothing separate to remember. You are always dreaming. You are always awake. It is one long experience. But if you feel there are, in your terms, blank spots in the idea of that experience, it may be because you need a little bit more openness in certain directions to allow yourself to be ready to receive whatever information you are processing on that level, as long as that information does not interfere with your process in physical reality. Now, are you living the most exciting life you possibly can?
No.
Are you under a great deal, in that sense, of stress to conform to certain ideas, or remain in areas that you don't prefer, or remain in energies that you don't prefer, that are not exciting to you?
Yes.
Then that is most likely probably the reason why you are not allowing yourself to experience the richness that exists in what you would call your dream reality or your dream life. If you begin to move more in the directions that are representative of a dream-like world, a dream-like reality, and recognize that you can live a life of passion and excitement, then more often than not, you'll begin to communicate more openly with your higher self in the dream realm, and you will bring back information with you that you can apply in your physical life. But if you're not living the life of excitement, then that information has nowhere to go, and it makes no sense for you to remember what you are unwilling to use.
I already knew that, though, didn't I?
Yes.
I'd just like to ask one more thing. I believe that our planet will eventually become as lush and as beautiful and as green as yours.
In our time, it is.
How long in my time or our time?
You will find that over the course of the next 150 years, overall, you will have reconverted your planet into a very balanced ecological state completely. This will strongly begin within the next 30 to 50 years of your time. Many areas will be transformed, but overall, the completion of the cycle will take about 150 of your years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My love to you.
Our love to you as well.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. I would like to ask something about my energy. I don't quite understand why. I just feel very unbalanced. My energy feels very unbalanced.
All right. What is happening in your life right now?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Well, I just feel very sensitive to energy.
Yes, more and more of you will become more sensitized, but there are ways to ground yourself. Is there some physiological hobby or activity that you enjoy more than any other? Something really physical.
I like to dance.
You like to dance. How often do you do it?
Never.
Never?
No.
Well, you need some grounding.
Yeah, I do.
Take off your shoes and in your bare feet dance upon the earth, the fields, the grass, the soil. You need this kind of grounding. You need to breathe in and smell the richness of the earth itself. to aid and assist in the balancing of your energy, because as you become more sensitized to the higher realms, you need to balance yourself and anchor that energy to the earth. You follow along?
Yes, but I don't think it's enough to just be in nature and walk barefoot.
I didn't say that was all. It is a beginning. Also, you must use the energy that you are becoming sensitive to in applications in your physical reality in the ways that really give you joy, so that you can begin to interact with other people in new ways. Those interactions, those formations of nets, networks, webs, and so forth will also weave you more strongly into the tapestry of what is going on your planet through these other interactions, and that will also help you.
Can you tell me any ways that I can do that?
Well, what would excite you the most? Are you doing what excites you the most in life?
No, I'm doing nothing except realizing a little bit of this energy, that I'm becoming very sensitive to energy.
Well, do you have a particular dream that you would like to manifest on the earth? A particular vision or idea or desire that you would like to manifest on the earth? A particular creative outlet or aspect or service you would like to perform?
I would like to help people.
In what way?
And I'm interested in art.
You're interested in art. I am interested in art. Would you like to create it? Would you like to buy and sell it? What do you mean when you say you are interested in art? Do you like to hang out in museums? What do you mean?
I'd like to create something, but I can't seem to get anything together.
Can't seem to get anything together. All right. What kind of art do you envision? When you think of yourself as creating art, in your imagination, in your mind's eye, what is the picture that is most representative of this concept of creating art? How would you like to express it? In paint? In fabric? In sculpture? What? What do you see yourself doing when you talk about making art?
I'm really not really. I don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do know. Yes, you do. Just relax into your imagination. Let your imagination be your guide. Let it play, let it play, let it play. Let it be free. Think of art. How does art feel? How do you know you are interested in art? What does the idea of being interested in art and creative in art mean to you? Feeling-wise, how does it feel?
I'm really not very. I don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do know. Yes, you do. Just relax into your imagination. Let your imagination be your guide. Let it play, let it play, let it play. Let it be free. Think of art. How does art feel? How do you know you are interested in art? What does the idea of being interested in art and creative in art mean to you? Feeling-wise, how does it feel? Physically, how does it feel? Will you be doing something with your hands?
Yeah.
Well, what? Drawing? What?
Just making things.
Making what? What do you see yourself doing? Are you modeling clay? What are you doing? Are you chiseling in rock? What are your hands doing when you think of art? What do your hands want to do? Art. What do your hands want to do? How do they want to move when you think of art? Feel the energy of art coursing through your forearms, into your hands, into your fingers. What would they need to do in order for you to feel they were doing the thing that represents the kind of art you want to do?
Just creating beautiful things.
How?
For the home, I guess.
How? Don't guess. How? Building with wood? Carving? What? Finger painting? Clapping? Don't judge it. Don't think about it. Say it. What do your hands want to do? How do they want to move? Be an artist. How will they express you being an artist? Are there a number of different ways or just one way? Say anything that comes to mind that you see your hands doing when you think of yourself as an artist.
Well, I'd like to work with leather and gold.
Leather and gold. All right. What will you create? What kinds of things do you see yourself creating?
Yeah. I already have some things in mind.
Yes. Create them then. Create them. Create them. Let your hands work. Let them free. Remove the shackles. Get the leather. Get the gold. Attract it into your life and make what you want. When you do that and you focus in that way, you'll be guiding your energy, it'll be anchoring you into the work, and you'll be attracting into your reality all the opportunities and the people that will allow you to connect to the situations you need to connect to allow you to continue to be creative and anchored. You follow along?
Yes.
If you have some things in mind, get them out of your system.
Is this what's affecting my energy?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Start to work the energy. Use the energy. Then it won't pile up within you and disorient you in that way. Swirling around, doing nothing. When are we going to get out of this prison? When are we going to be on parole? We've been so good. When are we going to be let out for good behavior? You follow along? All right. Thank you very much. Happy creating to you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I hope I'm not in for the same kind of advice.
We'll see.
We will.
Do you feel that you need it?
No. Well,
No.
I do need advice, that's for sure. I need heaps of advice.
Heaps. All right, we will see what we can heap upon you.
I mean, I've been thinking about what everyone's been saying, and I just feel like I'm really like, I need the basics. You know, I need forget about dreaming about eagles. I mean, I'm just...
Yes.
Like, how do I start feeling like a human being? How do I start,
Yes. All right.
How do I, become my...
Your true self.
Break the shackles and just
Yes.
be balanced, like
Yes.
you're talking about.
Yes. All right.
And can you make it sort of in layman's terms?
Yes. All right. Now, have you heard us discuss the concept of why it is important to do what excites you?
Yes.
Well, what do you understand about that concept?
Well, I know that that's true because in the past when I've done certain things, working and singing and stuff, it's excited me.
Yes, and has it not always brought you into the proper circumstances you needed to be brought into and supported you in the way that you needed to be supported as long as you were still doing the exciting thing?
Well, no, because I mean, at the times I've found that, especially, with the singing, I don't know why I'm talking about that, but there was dead ends all the time.
No.
So I felt like that's not what I was meant to do.
There were not dead ends. There were simply arrows pointing in unexpected directions, and you defined them as blocks. What you need to do is start redefining your reality, for one. Allowing yourself to get in touch with what the labels are, what the beliefs are that you have bought into that would allow you to define a circumstance in your life as a negative idea instead of a positive opportunity. Believe me, it makes all the difference in your world, and this is the most pragmatic thing I could possibly say to you.
Say that again. What did you say?
Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I am.
All right. I'll take it a step at a time. You must learn to redefine how you put meaning into the events of your life. You have been taught to define things in a certain way that allows you to interpret the situations that occur as negative circumstances, as blocks, and so forth, instead of defining them as positive opportunities and allowing the circumstance to unfold before you in such a manner as to show you how it could be a positive, unexpected, yes, but positive, nevertheless, opportunity as opposed to being defined as a dead end or a block or something that you can't work with. You need to learn to redefine the circumstances in your life instead of simply automatically applying the beliefs about them that you have been brought up to believe are automatically true, which are nothing more than ideas.
Okay.
That's the first step.
Right.
Once you allow yourself the opportunity to start redefining the circumstances in your life, always knowing whether you intellectually have an absolute specific understanding or not is not the issue, but always knowing that everything going on must serve a positive reason. Once you are allowing yourself to be in that vibration, then all you need to do is to continue to act on your excitement. You have the vision of something that excites you at any given moment. Whether it is a life-spanning career or just a choice in the moment, doesn't matter. At any given moment, just choose the thing that excites you the most that you have the highest degree of capability of acting upon, with integrity, with responsibility. Allow yourself to move in that direction, trusting the excitement that is therein contained. But if you have a particular vision, allow yourself to see that vision as clearly as you can, to see yourself being the successful, abundant, loving, and loved individual you prefer to be, if that's what you prefer. In seeing yourself living that kind of a lifestyle, you then must allow your emotionality to follow suit. Because if you really were that person, you would be excited and balanced and joyful all the time. Contemplative sometimes, yes, it doesn't mean that when we say you're excited, you have to be jumping up and down constantly. But the idea is that if you see that vision of yourself, let the emotion rise in pitch to match it. Let yourself feel that you are already living that life that you see in your vision. Then, third step, again, very pragmatically, grounding it in what you say, layman's terms or laywoman's terms, if you wish. Allow yourself to literally, in all the ways you can, literally copy, in your physical actions, copy the you see in your vision. For when you copy the you in your vision, the you that is representative of the reality you want, you will give off the vibration of that reality. You will attract those circumstances and situations and opportunities and people to you that are representative of the kinds you would have as that person. You will then act on them as that person and continue the momentum of that kind of lifestyle without end.
Right.
All right.
Now, can that just be what you're talking about in my mind? Can I just imagine myself as being in bliss all the time?
Yes.
And will I become that if I keep imagining that?
Yes. However, it will be easier if you imagine that it is connected to some creative expression of yourself, in the sense that just being in bliss means, generally speaking, you will not necessarily put yourself into the circumstances where other individuals will be served by you simply blissing out in your dining room chair. Now, if it serves a purpose, if it does in fact reflect the vision of your service in the world, to just sit in one place being so happy that you actually attract other individuals through into your reality, and just by seeing how happy you are, they allow themselves to know they can be happy too, then that can be reflective of a service. However, generally speaking, the bliss comes automatically when you are actually actively doing something, creatively expressing yourself some way in your physical reality, because you have chosen to be a physical being. Normally, I will use that term right now, normally speaking, the greatest bliss will come through expressing yourself in some way on your planet physically. That is representative of your highest joy and excitement.
And will the physical expression of that come easily to me? Will I be able to comprehend that easily?
Yes. So all you have to do, look, this is very simple. You are making this very complicated. It is very simple. Listen once again. At any given moment, you have an array of choices of things that you could choose to do. Yes?
Yep.
All right. When you take a moment to examine and scan what that array might be at any given moment, just allow yourself to feel whichever one would be the most exciting one that you could do at that moment. Act on it. Do it. Then when the next moment comes, look at the array of choices before you there. Choose the one that's the most exciting and act on it.
Even if it's only a trivial thing like wanting to bake a cake or something.
Yes, there are no trivial things. This is the point. This is where your definitions and your labels are getting in the way. Nothing is trivial. All excitement is connected to all other excitement. And when you start with the things that are a step at a time, they will always expand and grow into life-spanning events.
Oh, that's good.
You
I always thought you had to have a really kind of
No. As long as you are doing the thing that really gives you the most joy, that is what will always lead you into the circumstances and situations that will best serve you and everyone else around you as well. Because excitement is a thread, an unerring compass needle pointing directly in the direction of your highest self and highest purpose in life. Even if it starts small, step at a time, it is not trivial.
That's Great.
Does that help you?
Yes, very much. It's good. I understand that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy baking.
You're very nice. Just another couple of...
Oh, all right.
We envisage a move away from the city down into the country.
Why?
Well, my husband does, actually.
Why? Does it excite you?
Well, I'm not really sure. See, I'm a bit like Gina. I feel like I'm a bit fuzzy. I don't know what to grab hold of that excites me. You know, I don't know.
A bit fuzzy?
Yeah, fuzzy.
Do you need a shave?
Oh, yeah, on my legs I do, yeah.
All right.
So,
all right.
Do you know what I mean?
If you will begin the process we have described already to you, it will put you more in touch, more aware of the things that would be representative of your excitement, and you will recognize them when you see them. And it will be easier to move in the directions that are representative of that excitement. But first you have to activate the principle within yourself in order to have the capability of recognizing these other things as if they are representative or not of your excitement. You will not be able to recognize whether something is representative of your excitement or not if you're not familiar with that vibration. So give yourself the opportunity to begin to get familiar with it and allow yourself to move in the directions that really excite you the most. Paying close attention, again, to your definitions, because sometimes a certain thing that actually would be representative of your excitement may be being filtered by you in such a way as if you're actually nervous or anxious or scared about it, or do not allow yourself to feel the excitement because of your assumptions of what you think might be happening in that situation. When, if you really allowed yourself to recognize your true self will know that there are ways to allow things to happen that are just as exciting as the thing contained within the event itself. You following along?
Yes, I do. Will am I on the right track as far as my destiny and everything is concerned? Am I proceeding okay?
Let me put it this way. A path is something you are, not something you are on. You can't be off yourself. Therefore, anything you do, no matter what it is, you are on track generally. But you can prefer the path that you are to play out in a certain way. And the way you know consciously that you are playing the path that you are out in the most positive and beneficial way is to do what we have already suggested and act on the excitement at any given moment, because excitement is the vibration of the highest form of the path that you are. Follow along?
Yes.
So, hearing these things, knowing these things, and being willing to act on them lets you know that obviously you attracted yourself to hear this information, and that, in and of itself, in reflecting this information to you, is an indication that you are obviously giving yourself an opportunity to recognize, to choose the kind of path you prefer, which means you are squarely on it.
Okay.
You follow along?
Yes.
Always, if you're really fundamentally, again, keep it simple. Don't make a big mystery out of this. If you are at any given moment doing the best you know how to do, that's all you need to do. To be on your path, as you say.
All right.
Always have your intention. Always have whatever excitement is there and act on it. As long as you trust and act upon that joy and do the thing that gives you the most joy and do the best you can do at any given moment with that, and not intentionally depower yourself or attempt to hurt anyone else, you are doing the best you can. You are doing just fine. Keep it simple.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. With my physical, sometimes I get rather severe headaches, and I'm wondering...
Yes, I wonder why.
One's in the family, actually. My mother and sister, I have a twin sister, we all have these headaches. And do you know of a way, could you tell me of a way that I could perhaps handle these? Or?
One moment. Have you attracted yourself in any way, shape, or form to what might be called certain types of body workers that allow certain pressure points upon the body to reroute energy along the nervous system?
You mean like a massage?
Well, something a little different than a massage.
No.
But have you found yourself attracted to any of that?
Well, I usually can't afford it.
You usually can't afford it. So once again, you are allowing your definitions to get in the way of something that you feel you might really desire. Do not assume that the details dictate your reality. Your reality dictates the details.
Okay, well, can you give me a
specific
type of massage, type of that, what you're saying?
What we are perceiving is that you need some form of deep muscular pressure It could be acupressure or something similar to the idea of neurological pressure to help reroute energy systems along your nerves so that you will use your energy in a more balanced way and it will stop building up in the base of your neck and causing the headaches.
Okay.
You need more expression, more freedom of flow of your energy. Allow yourself now to make a decision that if that is something that excites you, to know that you can be released in that way, that you will attract yourself into the proper circumstances, and with those circumstances will come whatever ability is needed to allow you to be fulfilled in that way. Do not assume that abundance is only expressed in form of money on your planet. Abundance is simply the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Period. Attract the circumstances that will allow you to get done what you need to get done without getting in the way by defining the definitions you think have to be there in order for it to happen. Just let it happen.
Okay. See, I usually don't know what things to go after. Do you know what I mean? It's not a clear thing that floats to my head. I'll go and have acupressure. It's not.
Allow yourself to let your reality show you what will work best for you. You have the headaches. You want relief.
Thank you.
Put it out there that you want relief and let your reality show you the way that will work best for you. It doesn't have to come into your mind. It could come literally from your physical reality.
Right.
Are you getting it?
I mean, here we go. I've just got two here. Haven't got prices on that. Thank you. That's great. Also, you talked to me last night about guides. We all have guides, do we? Does everyone have guides? I mean,
everyone except you.
I thought so. I really thought so.
Do you believe me? Do you believe me?
I sort of do. I wish I did more, but I sort of do. And who am I? I mean, how can I meet them? How can I call upon them when I need them?
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Slow down, will you please?
Okay.
Slow down.
Right.
Now, did you understand that I was joking with you when I said you didn't have any?
Yeah.
All right. Then if you understand that I was joking with you and you don't believe me when I tell you you don't have them, why did you ask me if you did?
Because I was only joking with you.
Thank you. Your guides will assist you if you will relax and listen to your inner self. Only by allowing your imagination to be your guide will you allow your guides to speak through you in your imagination. Relax. Do the things that give you joy, and you will align yourself to the vibration that will attract in your reality the things that will be messages from your guide. They work best with the material at hand in your reality. They don't always simply dial up and speak to you in your head. Sometimes that does happen, but more often than not, it is easier for them to reach you in the things that surround you in your physical life. So relax, take your time, as you say, smell the roses, because you never know when a particular rose will be a message from your guide. So enjoy your life, take the time to see what's going on around you, and let your life lead you in that way, and then live the life itself. All right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've been very nice. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I want to speak to you about attachment.
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 Yes.
I am one of the people who is very happy in this life. I really am following my excitement, but I'm very attached to everything here. Does this mean that it's holding me back in my spiritual
attached
growth?
In what way?
I just want to be here. I just feel very attached to my family, my children.
Are you assuming that an enjoyment of physical reality somehow precludes your ability to be spiritual?
Well, there is so much talk about
yes or
ascension.
no?
No, I don't think so. But everyone is speaking about you have to aim for the fifth dimension.
Oh,
and
my.
And somehow or other, my
attachment All right. Yes, you ascend. Yes. But you have chosen to be a physical being. Enjoy it. It's a valid reality. The idea really is fundamentally as follows. Paying attention?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. The greatest act of spirituality you can have is to live your physical life in the richest and fullest possible way that you can.
Mm-hmm.
The two go hand in hand. It is not one at the sacrifice of the other. That's not balanced. It is living your life and enjoying physical reality in its fullest possible expression that allows you to ascend and eventually become a non-physical being, but that's not the point. That is just a side effect. The point is to live the life you are living, the expression, the experience you are having, in the dimension you are having it, to the fullest that you can. That's an act of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Follow along?
Yes, I do.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Does it help you lighten up about that idea?
Yes, it does.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good day. I don't have a question, but I couldn't imagine anything more exciting than coming and saying hello.
Oh, well,
so
thank
I
you
stuck
very
my
much.
card in.
Thank you
So
very
thank you.
much.
Thank you.
One moment. Not so fast.
I thought I was being so clever. Not that I didn't mean it. I did mean it.
I understand.
Thank you.
Imagine, if you will, a red ruby heart. See it glowing, red ruby heart. Take it in, red ruby heart. Heart, mind, spirit and soul. As above, so below. Our love to you.
And to you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
And to you, good day.
I haven't got so much as a question, but I need to have a further understanding about when we create our own reality.
Yes.
Therefore, anything that we term negative that we bring into it, basically you say we have brought it in ourselves.
Generally speaking, yes, the idea is that whatever frequency you have been taught to function on as the most likely frequency you believe will manifest, that is what is responsible for allowing a certain kind of reality to gravitate to you. A lot of this happens unconsciously in your society because of the limitations and belief systems that have been imposed on you for thousands of years. But yes, you get into a certain energy state that attracts to you the manifestations that are the most likely ones to represent the energy state you believe in most strongly.
Therefore, even if I consciously say I do not want a certain occurrence to occur, I could be unconsciously bringing it in without realizing.
You could be. Depends on why you are saying you don't want it. Generally speaking, it is a matter of recognizing in true consciousness the real things that you prefer and don't prefer as representative of your true self. Then you will simply know that whatever is happening is a part of the process of allowing you to discover what your true self is. And bit by bit, you can transform them into what you would perceive to be automatically more positive experiences on and on, day by day. But whatever happens is there for your reason to reflect to you whether or not that's something that is representative of the life you do want or don't prefer. But you must not prefer something without judging it. You cannot push away from something you don't want. You must let it in so you can transform it into what you want it to be. You understand the difference in the process?
Yeah. Well, somebody broke into our house.
Yes.
The first time it ever happened to me in my entire life. It's
Well, congratulations.
It's not something I wanted. I can't imagine why.
That's the problem. I can't imagine why that could serve me. That's the problem most of you have. You don't let your imagination show you how it could. You don't always have to know. All right, here comes the story. Some of you have heard this. I will tell it to you again. It illustrates beautifully your particular situation. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. There is an individual that actually exists in your reality, a physical being, a male. They had something they desired that was very exciting to them. Very exciting. They wished to buy a particular stereo system for their automobile. Have you heard this story?
Well, not specifically.
All right. I will continue. I will continue. They realized that they did not have any way, shape, or form the capability of actually purchasing the system that they really were excited about. They did the best they could, but it didn't manifest. So they said, all right, I've done the best I can. I will now do the next most exciting thing I am capable of doing something about. They bought another stereo system for the car that they could afford. They still had the idea of the larger goal of the other stereo system that they really love, because they really love music, you see. This is their passion. And they wished the quality of that sound of the more expensive stereo system. But they did the best they could. Put it in the car, drove merrily on their way, enjoying the best that they could create. 1 week later, it was stolen out of the car. And some damage was done to the area around where the stereo had been. Now, this person had two options at that point. Option number one: oh no, these things happen to me, I can't understand it. Option two, which is the one that they chose. All right. Now, I know I could label this in a negative way, but I recognize I have the opportunity to choose not to. I don't understand how this is serving me in a positive way, but I do know it must be serving me in a positive way. How do I know that? Because I say so. That's why. Therefore, I will act as if I know this is true, even though I don't have an intellectual understanding of the specific of how this could possibly serve me. I will act as if I know it is true. I will stay in the centered and balanced state of knowing that this is an unexpected, exciting opportunity, and that it will be revealed to me how it serves me in a positive way. Oh joy, what an unexpected surprise. They remained in that energy, went about their business of doing the things that in your reality you do, reporting the theft, allowing what you call your insurance company to provide enough money to replace the same stereo system and enough money to repair the damage that happened to the automobile around the area of the stereo. So now this individual, again staying in their centered place, attracted themselves to a repair shop to repair the damage so they could then, once repaired, go and replace the same level of stereo system and put it in the car again. But when they got to the repair shop, they attracted themselves, they found, to a repair shop that took one look at the damage and said, you know, it looks bad, but because of the material out of which this area is made, all we have to do is actually heat it a little bit with a hairdryer, and it will snap back to its original shape. We won't charge you a thing. Now this person's standing there, the repairs are done, and in their hand they possess the amount of money that the repair would have cost, and the amount of money to replace the old stereo, and together that money was exactly what they needed for the original system they wanted to begin with. And so they got it. Now, if they had gone into negativity, they probably would have attracted themselves to another repair place that would have charged them full price, or maybe even taken a little more. And they would never have been able to even perhaps get the stereo they wanted, or even the one that they had settled for in the other situation. But by staying in positive reality, by knowing it must serve them somehow, then no matter that the thief's intention may have been negative, this person only received a positive result in their life. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, because it didn't upset me as much as I thought it would.
All right.
I thought that was a little odd.
A little odd. It's
Yes.
the way of the new things and understanding within yourself. Give in to that new understanding, because it will serve you in a positive way and eventually allow you to understand how the situation actually can still provide a positive reality for you. Stay in that modality and you will understand it. Go into the negative modality and you won't.
And can that apply to people as well? That if
Everything and anything.
So that if I'm in contact with somebody I view as being negative energy,
Yes.
there's still a positive purpose, so I should just
yes.
hang in there.
And it can wait a minute. It can also be perhaps simply for the purpose of recognizing that you don't prefer that energy in your life, and you can go away. But you don't have to let it affect you in a negative way.
So if I choose not to let it affect me, then I can still stay and...
If you wish. If you want to interact with me, then you can choose to change your energy. If you don't, that's fine. I love you anyway, but that's your reality and this is mine. Goodbye.
So if I can't change their way of thinking.
Absolutely not. How can you? You're not them.
So if I get a lot of opposition to the way I think, if I just stay positive about the way I think about reality and all that, then that will be sufficient.
Yes. You will be living what you're supposed to be living. Your life.
So that when I get opposition to, as you say, go with the excitement, then I should just ignore it.
Not ignore it. Accept it as a loving opportunity to view another possible route you could take. But if you recognize it's not the route you prefer, thank them and say, no thanks. I love you, but no thanks. Thank you for the reflection, but no thanks. That's the reality you prefer. I thank you for your advice because you could have been showing me something I may have been missing, but in examining what you have to say, in weighing it and applying it to what I feel is important for me, I have come to the conclusion that I prefer this instead. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to recognize that that is not the reality I prefer, because that helps clarify more strongly the reality I do prefer. Thank you so much. Because very often in your reality, it is easiest for you to know, because of the way you go about doing things, it is easiest for you to know what it is you do want by being given clear opportunities to understand what you don't want. And that helps you define yourself. Then, by being your true self, you do give them the opportunity to be who they choose to be. But if they choose to judge you, they are really only judging themselves. And you can love them, nonetheless, for that, because they are simply caught in a reality that does not allow them to know they can really do whatever it is they would really prefer to do, rather than doing the things they think they have to do just because they have been taught that that's the only available option for them. You follow along?
Yes.
By living your life to the fullest, you give them the possibility of seeing in you, by example, that they can choose to live a life of happiness too. But they don't have to choose it. And you can't take responsibility for them in the same way that they are attempting to take responsibility for you. Otherwise, all you're doing is being the same vibration as them that you don't want in your life and reinforcing that reality instead of being the person and the reality and the vibration you prefer.
So that even if I feel I'm surrounded by people with opposite vibrations to mine,
it will strengthen you that much more in clarifying the vibration that is uniquely your own. Live that way. The more you live that way, the less opposition you will experience in effect. You may find that you may still be surrounded by them, but you may also one day understand that you are surrounded by them because they know innately they need to be around you, because you are the only one that's going to reflect to them their ability to really choose what they prefer. You follow along?
Yes.
So they may be driving you towards being your true self, so that in elevating yourself to that level, you can then help pull them up too. But you don't have to be responsible for it. Just be yourself. All right?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clarified it.
Thank you.
Afternoon.
And to you, good day.
Can you give us some insight into where Australia is within the next 15 to 20 years?
To some degree, we have done this.
Could you make it clearer?
Clearer? For the particular area that you are in right now, again, this will be an area that will rise in the forms of information, education, communication, and art. There will be an opportunity for economic transformation, for alternate systems to be created that will create new cities, and this information in the creation of alternate systems economically, socially, politically, can be exported to other cities upon your planet. There will be recognition of interaction in various places in your landmass, perhaps within the next 15 years, having to do with extraterrestrial communication, with spirit communication, with the blending and balancing of the idea of the natives, indigenous to the area, and the Western civilization therein, becoming more and more of one idea, one heart, one mind, one spirit, one soul. There will be new understandings of how to grow things in places where things were not thought possible to be grown. New ideas of foods that help balance and blend the energies of all individuals in many different ways. Is this helpful for you?
Yes, we as a group of people have come here to hear you. Are we sort of in the forefront of all this?
There are many individuals on your planet that, shall we say, are on the cutting edge of these things. You're not the only ones, but you are some. But that is your choice. This is not to make you special than anyone else in that sense, although everyone is special and unique. But the idea is that if you recognize that there are leading edges and that you act on these ideas and be a shining example out front, then that will aid and assist in the collective energy's ability to live their own realities in the way they prefer to.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I had nothing to do with it.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm amazed at the synchronicity of being chosen for a question.
Oh, all right.
I was sitting with a friend excuse me, last night, and she had a question for you. Her name is Ruth. and I was to come today, she was not able to, and I'm asking her question. Is that all right?
You can ask. Sometimes it will not always be possible to give you all the information we might have given to her had she been present, because sometimes it requires the dynamic interaction between us for certain doorways to be opened up so that we know we have permission to go farther. But we will do, of course, the best we can.
Okay. Her question is that she has channeled a being about 8 months ago, and a message was given about a hidden planet of beings at the deepest point of the ocean, 30 miles or so under the Earth's crust. They will emerge when they are ready. She wants to know what the significance about this is.
All right. Now, this to some degree is tied in with what we said earlier on about different kinds of consciousness or civilizations being intertwined, interwoven with your collective consciousness. They do not exist there physiologically. They do not exist in your dimension at all. Do you understand that, first of all? They do exist in a kind of collective archetypal fashion, and their emergence is coincidental to the idea of the emergence of the deep, deep, deep sub- and unconscious sections of yourself rising and bubbling to the surface to come out into the forefront to transform your world in magical ways. Do you understand?
Yes.
They are aspects of the total world soul. They do have connections to other extraterrestrial energy, but they are also in the guise of aspects of the world soul of Earth that will bring with it, as it rises from the depths to the surface, the idea of your psyche, your unconscious, rising up through the subconscious, coming out and blossoming on your physical reality. There may be a physiological creation in certain areas of what might be called New Island as a symbolic reflection of the emergence of this information outward onto the surface of your world. But that is basically what it is symbolic of.
Right. She also wants to know that since then she's had a lot of extraterrestrial coming in, energies coming in, and she's wanting to know, is it meant for her to channel extraterrestrials as they seem to be coming in so much stronger?
Not at this time. It is meant for them to guide her into more cohesiveness between the different levels within her own consciousness first. Perhaps within 3 years' time, there will be enough of a balancing and a blending along certain lines, and old issues will have been resolved to the point where then an association can be more strongly made.
Yes.
All right?
I have another.
Yes.
She wants to know how to control the energy that comes through her. For example, last night she was in total sync with you, and the same. She was mouthing the things that you were saying,
yes.
And later she had almost like an epileptic episode.
Yes.
How can she control this energy?
More swimming. Yes, literally. More immersion in water will help this being. There needs to be a certain kind of balance in the communication between the hemispheres of the brain so that this energy comes through more smoothly. Swimming will do it because it will connect her to certain kinds of energies that are relevant to the idea of the womb, a rebirthing, a regrowthing, and in this sense a connection to other energies and consciousnesses that can help nurture and support her and allow there to be more synchronization within the communication of her own internal consciousness. So more swimming.
Thank you very much from myself and her, and lots of hugs. Bye.
Oh, thank you.
Heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of love, Bashar.
Heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps.
Yeah, this is truly creating your reality.
Yes.
When I listened to some of your tapes a long time ago, about 5 years ago, I think I really have been waiting for this tape since then, even though I've spoken to you through Lisa. I was wondering if you could comment on the synchronicity or whatever you'd like to say about the fact that I'm flying to Hawaii next weekend to be married and that Daryl is also doing the same thing a month later. Is there anything that you can comment about that?
Again, simply understand that there are pathways that are of similar vibration. There will be similar manifestations, similar timings that let you know that you are, in that sense, coherent with certain group consciousnesses upon your planet as they choose to express themselves. That there are, let's say, families of psychic consciousness that express themselves in certain ways so that you know, by the synchronicity, that certain kinds of work is being done, certain kinds of timing is being fulfilled.
Does that also relate to geographic location?
Yes, of course.
Because of the electromagnetic energy?
Hawaii is the heart energy of the world.
Okay.
Haleakala on Maui.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, I've had a number of extraterrestrial events throughout my life. And when I came to see you last night, two came to mind very strongly. I've had a challenge with my health for a number of years now. And quite recently, I was falling asleep and I was very aware of some extraterrestrials at the side of the bed, not in physical form, but obviously something there. And as I started to fall asleep, these extraterrestrials had 3 fingers and a very small, like a cream jug that you would have for a tea set. And they appeared to pour liquid gold, that's what it felt like, onto my forehead, which went through my body. And I've just made the association that my health has greatly improved since then.
All right.
But I can't remember anything about what happened after that.
Well, that's all right. There are certain things that were given to you, and this is all we are allowed to share. There are certain things that were given to you in that golden energy that have to do with certain connections that you will find in Maui that have to do with Lemurian energy. That's all we can tell you right now.
Okay, can I ask one more about, I had a dream quite some time ago which came back to me last night, and of the many, probably a few hundred things that I could comment on, this one came up where I had to go to a specific road, and it was outside of it. It seemed to be a desert area. It didn't seem to be Australia. It could have been, I don't know. I had to go to that area. I was to go there with my partner, and I was to wait to meet someone which I perceived to be a UFO craft in the road. Is that just my psyche talking to me, or is that a message for the future?
It is to some degree a message for the future. You may find yourself in the American Southwest.
Yep. Can I have a little more?
No.
This is the story of my life. Okay. Another thing that happened to me, and I'm not asking from a...
Sure, you may find yourself in the American Southwest.
Yeah. Can I have a little more?
No.
This is the story of my life. Okay. Another thing that happened to me, and I'm not asking from a perspective of fear at all, because I've really dealt with that, but I did have an experience. I had surgery on my abdomen 5 years ago, and the surgery was performed through the navel.
Yes.
And 5 years later, I awoke to find that my navel had actually split open. And I did speak to a doctor who said that was technically unable to happen. I also had bruises on the insides of my legs.
Yes.
Could you comment? I don't have any fear, but and if that's an agreement I've made to give something up, I fully am aware of that, but I wondered if you could comment.
You will someday meet the child again, all right?
Thank you. Yep, that's wonderful. Boy, these are all the things being answered here. I've also had a number of dreams where I would give my life to protect a dolphin. There's been reoccurring through the years. They put me on a high that is better than any drugs, not that I've ever tried any, but it carries me for about 3 weeks. And I actually wake up in the dream and realise I would actually give my life to save the dolphin because I recognise the importance.
This is also something you've actually already done.
Oh, is that in an Atlantean connection?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you can say about that, why it's a reoccurring dream, even though they're different each time?
As the Sirius energy comes in more strongly, as you reconnect to those particular levels, there will be more interaction with dolphin consciousness. It is again, right now, helping to smooth out certain energies within you, so that you'll be able to experience certain things later in the future. As you find yourself more lushly anchored to the earth, then certain other heavenly events will be more likely to manifest in your life once you are more balanced and grounded and connected to the earth, and can receive them in the intention, in the gift intention energy that it will be presented in.
Can you give me...
End of story.
Was worth a try. Could you also comment on my connection to Sirius or
End of story.
Will I find out myself in time?
End of story.
Can I just ask one very broad question for everyone? When is it perceived in a time sense that our bodies will naturally know what herbs to purchase, to put into our bodies to heal ourselves, what notes to tone, what colour to be attracted to or to visualise?
Tomorrow at 3:15 a.m.
Is that just for me or everyone?
No.
I've lost you.
I'm right here.
Could you enlighten me a little bit more on that? I'm not with you.
3:15 a.m.
Literal.
Yes. 3:15 a.m. is a time of high psychic sensitivity and opening up to all the things in nature, recalibration and understanding of self. The opportunity has been there for quite some time, is there right now. All you have to do is plug into that energy, know your natural self, be with the earth in that way, in the shamanistic way. You will know exactly what herbs you need at any given moment or any other information of that nature. That information is available to you right now and always has been.
Is that why I keep waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
For that is the time of high psychic communication and also the time, more often than not, of some of those encounters that you are having, because that is when the veil between that dimension and yours is the weakest.
Okay. Also, my partner and I are planning to exchange crystals in our marriage ceremony on the beach. Could you suggest crystals for us that you feel would be in harmony with our vibrations?
I cannot interfere in that. You must trust yourself in that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for the sharings of the past and for the growth that you've given me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One moment.
More? I get more?
Also allow yourself during the ceremony to be in touch, at least in some way, shape or form, in your thoughts, in your heart, with the energy of Haleakala. It will connect you also directly back to Ayers Rock and a few other places. And there will be dreams there that will explain more of what we are not allowed to tell you now. All right?
Can I ask one more? Thank you. But one more thing. When you were talking about everyone being fuzzy and decisions being made, just as you said that, you were sharing with Maureen and talking about Ayers Rock, and I just suddenly made this really spontaneous decision to go to Ayers Rock and take a group next August, I decided. Is that something else to do with my own personal growth?
Have a good time.
Thank you so much, Bashar. Lots and lots of love.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Sue.
Oh, all right. Good day to you.
Yes, this is an unexpected surprise for me.
Oh, congratulations.
I've been on a bit of a roller coaster on spiritual growth this last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Opening the channel, healing, all sorts of things.
Yes.
Now, my biggest problem is I feel very sensitive to people.
Yes.
I can sit in a group and take on every illness in the group.
I see.
And I'm wondering how to protect myself.
This is similar to what we have already discussed with another individual. This degree of sensitivity will expand in many of you. The idea is that the more you use it in whatever way, shape, or form is really representative of your joy and passion and excitement, the more balanced and grounded it will become within you. You have to use this energy and pass it through yourself so it will not sit within you and build up.
But does that mean I can go and touch people that I don't even know?
Yes.
I just get overwhelming urges to do things.
Then do it. As long as you recognize it as within integrity and responsibility, do it.
And also to say things to people.
Yes, but also do it in such a way that it gives them the opportunity to know that you are simply making a sharing, a gift, not telling them what to do.
Yes, I'm beginning to understand more and more how to say things.
You will need to learn how to communicate, and this will help balance all these energies out within you. Communication is the key for you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. I think I saw a spaceship off the coast last night. Was that your craft? At about 8 o'clock.
No.
I wasn't sure, then I brought through an energy that didn't seem like you at all.
No.
Thank you.
It was not. Thank you very much. And what we have done has helped calibrate the energy within you a little bit.
I felt it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
Andrew, you good day.
Could I just ask a very quick question?
Yes. Time's up. Weren't quick enough. All right.
Hold on. The planet Astilla, is it in the Association of Worlds?
We do not recognize that vibration in the way that you have labeled it.
You have heard of it or know of it?
We do not recognize that vibration in the way that you have labeled it.
Okay, thank you. I accept that. The other thing is Nikola Tesla on this planet at the moment?
Do you mean reincarnated?
Yes.
No.
But he's helping in some way?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to be very quick with this question, Bashar. It's a personal one, and I wasn't
intending to ask a personal question. But some months ago, I think I woke up, but I'm not sure now, and it felt like there was a metallic sound. It felt like something was on my head and a metallic sound in my head, which went on for some time. Can you give me any information on that?
Let us just say there was contact. Let us just say that the sound was a recognition of the overlapping of one dimension with another, as very often will be received by you as a metallic buzzing type of sound. Let us just say there was, to some degree, adjustments and information exchange. Let us just say, for now, that is all.
Thank you, Bashar, very much.
At this timing, we will extend to each and every one of you, once again, our deepest appreciation as being allowed to interact with you in this way and reflect to you your own higher self-knowledge, which you already know. We bid you all peace, balance, love, joy, and pleasant dreams, active dreams, loving dreams. Be the you prefer to be. The choice is yours. Good day.
Good day, Bashar.